Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Dev Fireside chat. I can see everybody's already seeing the trailer. A lot of cool things. People already choosing their factions in game. It's by the sounds of it in chat. I have with me Howard, Eric, and Jesse, and then Tim's gonna stop by later. He's was kind of the head of the trailer. Did a lot of the work for it, so he's gonna talk about it. You'll also see that the chat is in the stream itself. This is because it gets put onto YouTube, and people who are watching it later, I don't want them to be confused about what we're talking about if someone comments something. People are asking, who are we people? We're the developers. Howard's the boss, Eric's the... yeah, you get the title boss. You're not going to avoid it. I'm really sorry. Eric is the, I'm going to use the term chief designer. Lord and Master, whichever one works for you. I mean, he has a lot of the control over the things you see in-game. And then Jesse and myself were basically the community management side. So we're the people who set up the streams, make sure newbies are doing all right, all that fun little jazz. So I was going to
the term Justice League, but that's just me.
I was going to ask what everyone thought of the trailer, but the chat's already exploding. It's impossible to keep up with. Everyone seems really happy with it, which I'm very glad. Someone asked, wait, what trailer? So if you go to gunsofIcarus.com, and you can see the trailer. And we will still be here when you get back, and we'll be talking about it still, I'm pretty sure. So, let's start by talking about the trailer. Does anyone have any questions about it so far? I saw a couple before we started, but if you want to re-ask them so they're fresh on the list. Anything you guys want to talk about the trailer? Howard, Eric, Jesse?
Yeah, I got a message in game from Warpway saying that we should work harder because showing the teaser is not good enough. We should be demoing adventure mode by now, but
c'est la vie.
Yeah. We will get there. We work hard. Work hard. But yeah, the trailer, it's a lot of work by the artists. I mean, there's a lot of nights and weekends in heatless, room. A room with no heat in like sweatshop type working conditions.
You can't even get the space heaters going in there, can you?
Oh. It's more like a cold shop in here during the winter.
Fair enough. So there's a lot of work that made.
Yeah.
All right, so we have the question a couple times. What is the difference between adventure mode and co-op mode?
Oh yeah.
So right now everyone is playing skirmish mode. It's PvP. Co-op mode expansion will be, as I always say, like Left 4 Dead. You team up with your buddies and you fight the AI. So how it's working is basically in skirmish mode we worked on the core mechanics, ship-to-ship combat. Co-op mode will be introducing the AI, and now we've made it official, we'll be introducing factions. And then in adventure mode, what we're hoping is to expand the world where you can actually affect the towns and the economy and get even more involved with the econo-political strife between the factions. So that's the gist of it.
All right, and who did the voice acting for the trailer?
We found someone external, and we put up some of the text, and we scoured through several, a lot of different voice clips, and we found this woman. I don't know her name off the top of my head, but we heard her voice, and it was and the Poe, I believe, is what the artists are screaming at me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's actually pretty cool. So
Now the question everyone's wondering is, does she play?
Does she play?
I actually don't think so. I mean, Tim and I, we were talking about what voice do we want? Who do we want to narrate the story? Right? Is it going to be male, female? Is it going to be young or old? And we decided on her voice, which is obviously a more mature voice and a female voice. And because we listened to a lot of voice submissions or whatever. And we decided that female is actually better suited for this particular narration. And yeah, and then since as you guys see from the art style, right, it's really sort of more of a remembrance or reminiscence of the world or the evolution of the world. So we wanted to, have, a narrator's voice to kind of match that whole narrative. So we end up deciding on her. Really, really super happy with it. Her voice is awesome, and she is from the UK, and yeah, it's great.
And for everyone in the chat, you will probably have to ask your question multiple times. As you can see, it's going really quickly. We have over 120 people in here. So if I miss your question, it's not like I hate you or your question's not good. It's simply it went through my chat bar way too quickly for me to catch. So, to what degree is co-op and adventure linked? Is the question.
That is a very good question. I'll let you know when I design it. Well, I mean, it's always trying to figure out as we go along how things will be connected. At least in my mind, I do want a strong association between co-op and adventure, as far as maybe playing co-op missions will influence how the world is being shaped in adventure modes, things like that. But don't hold us to it just yet. Adventure mode is still a whiles away. Right now we're of course focused on getting co-op mode playable, demoed, videos for everyone to see, and then finally out the door sometime this year.
All right. And what degree of customization for our characters in co-op mode? Is it limited to our old options, or will there be new options?
I mean, a lot of people ask for I want my hats, I want my goggles, I want a mustache piece, beard piece, so things like that. I think we'll be able to cross over into both modes. But with co-op mode and the factions, the cool thing is we're going to have a lot more cosmetics available that are faction specific. So skirmish mode gave you a little bit of a taste of what these different styles and fashion elements are, but we're going to go whole hog when co-op is released.
Can I ask you a question to expand on that?
What particularly?
Well, I noticed that a lot of the factions seem to have an official color scheme and design scheme, and
Yes.
I'm wondering if you'll only be allowed to customize within that particular constraint.
Oh, color scheme? No. I mean, those are just as you can see, Yesha, they like the color red. Symbolizes their aggressiveness and so forth. So for default colorings, yeah, their costumes will probably be on that color palette, red, golds. But of course, we'll still have the dye system that's available, so that's up to you.
All right. Do we need to pay for co-op, or is it included in the actual game? It is going to be a pay because it's a giant expansion to the game. Someone already put up the link for the Guns of Icarus store, where you can pre-order both co-op and adventure mode together for just $10. So no matter how we release it, you'll get the codes in email, and we'll make sure they get sent to you. Another question about AI. Are the AI in co-op going to be the same as the AI in skirmish?
Let's hope not, right? No. The biggest thing that we're working on right now is making sure that there are enemy AI. This means the people you're fighting. We have AI that controls the airships now. They're smart and they fly around. They try to hunt you down. So this goes for airships, but we're also creating AI to control and fly airplanes, like squadrons. So this is all very, very, completely new technology for us. So we have to really spend a lot of time tuning and refining all that and make sure everything plays nicely, everything looks nice. The AI doesn't do anything stupid like flying to walls. So in a lot of ways, it's very different from the AI that we have now, and it's going to be much better. And we hope to use some of this technology to give you AI friendlies as well. Let's see where we get with that.
And for the person who says they need to use their Steam wallet to buy things, the game will still be released on Steam, so when it comes out, you can use your Steam wallet there. So
Yep.
You will not be left out. Have no fear.
No problem.
So again, it's another co-op to adventure mode link. They just want to confirm that any of the faction stuff in co-op will affect adventure mode, which I think.
That's the ideal goal. We want all of these modes to be connected in some way. At least on the development standpoint, co-op is the developing the AI structure and the mission structure that will be used in adventure mode. How exactly the things you do in co-op mode will affect adventure, it's TBD right now.
And how many ships will be in co-op on one side? Like, what's the biggest size the team can be of human players?
We're aiming for 4 ships on one side, 4 human ships. So.
All right. And how will ship customization? Will that be a co-op thing, or is that coming out in skirmish?
Which customization?
Ship customization. Yeah.
It will be coming out in both. I mean, when we make ship customization, it will be available for both. I mean, basically, eventually, ship co-op and skirmish will be 2 different modes of play within the game, and you will see that in like a new main screen that we're designing, and from that main screen, you can access a new community feature, which we're also working on, and also like ship customization, character customization, and any number of things. So yeah, I mean, we're designing ship customization to be just something that you can access in the game in general.
But of course, through co-op mode, you'll be able to unlock faction-specific ship cosmetics. Like, I don't know, Yesha has like this kind of figurehead or whatever. Those are the kinds of ideas that we have floating around right now.
All right. Will there be any new ships for co-op mode or that are faction specific?
Oh yeah, hell yeah! We're definitely planning for some of those. If you watch in those videos in the weekly updates, you'll see some of the things that have been modeled and put in game already, and we're trying to expand that palette as broad as we can. Again, ships are pretty hard to make, so we'll see how far we get with those.
Just for posterity, can I have you guys confirm in speech that pre-ordering will get you both adventure and co-op?
Yes. If you go to our website, you should do it soon, gunsofIcarus.com/store. There will be some links where it says pre-order and donate to us for adventure mode development. You will get co-op mode and adventure mode whenever they come out in your email as Steam keys. It is a very good deal if you do that now. So yeah, it may or may not be in the store later.
With the improved customization, will there eventually be a player model that doesn't look like a skinny emo teen?
That's another good question. That's a Tim question.
Yeah,
I would say we're trying to make more bodies available. The one interesting case is that because we have so many costumes, we'll have to see how we can adjust those costumes to fit all those different body types. So the reason why we have all these cool costumes is because we have like a mannequin figure. Basically, we just have to model the same exact thing for everybody. It makes our lives a lot easier. But we'll definitely take a look into it. At least we'll try to give you more customization of the face or something like that. That can change a little bit more easily than the entire body.
We have a player asking, do we plan on a 4-pack thingy, as his words, for co-op mode?
Yeah, we'll have to actually sort of reevaluate. Well, as we get closer to co-op, we'll basically have to reevaluate how we like bundle stuff. So, for example, like we might have a 4-pack that you can basically just unlock both modes, or we may have like a co-op 4-pack as well. So we'll be looking at how we'll be bundling stuff. So I mean the store bundles will change. Like partly we'll have to see like how many of these bundles how many packs we can actually offer as well.
And I know we haven't decided the pricing for it, but is it safe to say that the $10 for both co-op and adventure is the cheapest you'll get the 2 of those at?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure so people here aren't like, well, so yeah, someday it'll, like, a year or 2 from now, it'll be on sale and stuff, but it's not going to come out and you'll be like, oh, well, the people who got it early are getting screwed out of the money. No. We want you, if you're early, you're promoting us, that you get the best deal that we can give you.
Yeah, I mean, eventually, different things could be on sale. They could be in different bundles or whatnot. But yeah, I mean, if we have a list price, the design is definitely so that whatever people get now on pre-order will be cheaper.
And a big thank you to Arnold Ace Rimmer, who said $10. Nah, I dropped 55. So that actually helps us out a whole bunch. So,
Rimmer, thank you.
What a guy.
Will we see YouTubers at the co-op release promoting the game?
Basically, yes. I've actually talked to Jesse and talked to Polaris a little bit about it.
The other
I
Jesse.
think yes, the other Jesse. And it's really, they would love to come in and do stuff with us. It's just a question now of timing, like when we can actually release what. So, like once we sort of firm everything up, then we can start working with them and try to set stuff up.
Mm-hmm. Will everything in co-op still make it to skirmish, or will there be PvE only guns?
There will be, at this point, balance is still in its early phases. I want to say that there may be a chance of co-op stuff making it back into skirmish, but it'll have to be, if we do that, it'll have to be like a special toggle or something like that. At the end of the day, I don't want to mix skirmish vanilla with like co-op stuff, because that would be like insane. Like if you want to play against each other with co-op weapons, could be possible, but it'll be special toggle. Like if you say it's like, yeah, I want to do that, okay, fine. But
Something so it doesn't come into your balance thread, basically.
yeah, exactly. Because I'm always very wary about that. But with co-op, at least for right now, because I don't have to worry about balance too much. We're not fighting against other human players. We're fighting against AI. Man, the faction-specific guns and ships will probably be pretty insane. So.
All right, and are we all in the same studio, office, or area right now? Actually, no. So Howard and Eric are in the same area, and then I'm in Nebraska, and then Jesse's got his own location as well. So we're a little all over the place.
Yeah, Jesse's in Amherst, I believe, Massachusetts, and his exact address is.
No, seriously, go on. I'm very interested to see if you remember it.
I can look it up right now.
I was gonna say
Hold
he
on.
never remembered my address in a year, Jesse. So
I should be flattered.
That's true, but I can look it up right now and
True.
drop it live on national television.
all right. Will there be a 4-person limit to the ship roster in co-op?
Let me start. Let's start a petition right now, like in the Twitch chat. Who wants to have Jesse's address? Say aye.
So while the eyes are being counted, Eric, 4 people max per ship still?
For now, yes. Because again, we're using a lot of the same structure, the same UI. So at least for the time being, we're going to assume that each ship is going to have 4 players.
And there is oh man, I'm gonna butcher this name. Shwa Wer Bella Stung is asking why his questions aren't showing up in the stream video. They could be going quickly. There is a delay to the video as well. So feel free to just keep asking until we answer. Like seriously, I do not mind as long as you're not like spamming it every second. As long as you keep asking. And so Howard, they don't want Meta's address. They want Eric's. So they can send him stuff when he does balance changes.
But
I get like all kinds of like stupid stuff in my mailbox, like
but I mean, yeah.
bags of poop and God.
Will the U.S. Postal Service actually send that?
I don't know. We can try. Someone can try it. I don't know
No,
if we go through.
stop.
I know you can't send.
Stop.
No
No fecal matter, please.
I know you can't send blood and stuff.
You
but-
can't send gold bullion. I know that. At least through UPS.
Sure.
Oh, damn it.
Really?
That's what
I know.
wanted.
I had a friend who worked at UPS, so he would, when I would pick him up from work sometimes, he'd be like, "Look at this chart of things we cannot accept. Gold bullion."
Well, you know what though? Like Eric spends more time here than he does at home, right? So we can just give out our news address, and you can find all of us here.
You can also not
And
send
if you-
poisonous spiders, by the way, to this
if you
address.
come, if you come in, with good intentions, we'll even take you out for a drink or a meal. So.
Just let us know when you come in, though. Like, send us an email. Seriously, like, we love it when you guys want to drop by, but, like, please let us know.
Excuse me.
So we can expect you.
Okay, and Queso asked if we'll have something to show at PAX East. Yes, we will.
Yes.
Yes, we will. We'll be showing co-op in addition to skirmish, so that's a big thing.
All right. So one player heard there was a 1v1 mode back in the early days, so back in beta. Is there any chance that it'll be reintroduced?
Well, I guess I would qualify no. I mean, in practice, technically you can, but only in practice. In actual gameplay, no.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons for that. A lot of them have to do with balance and fun is the main thing. I mean, there's a reason it was removed from beta.
Yeah. So let me expound on that a little bit. So we actually had it, right, as you guys know, and that was around the time of Eurogamer Expo, and just seeing how players actually play. Actually both the veteran players and also the new players play a 1v1. It is really, I mean, it was at times just kind of brutal to watch. There was not a lot of tactics. For a map that's more cloud cover, that's a little bit bigger. It takes a crazy amount of time for people to find each other. It gets boring really quickly. Once people find each other, it's just like they just circle each other until one of them blows up. So it wasn't a lot of tactical maneuvering or anything that goes on, and most people found it to be pretty boring and not fun. So we removed it.
All right, and will there be more voices for male and female characters other than the 2 for each at the moment?
Yes, actually, we have two. We have one more male and female voices ready to go. They're basically ready to be put in game, and they're not in English.
Always good.
Be selected in English localized copies of the game.
Yeah, you can basically how right now you can select voices, right? You'll be able to select the new voices in the same way. They're in Japanese and they sound really cool.
Someone said Forrest is all the voice you need. We definitely love voices. Forrest is
that Forrest? Is that
no,
Forrest?
it's not his normal one, so it's either a friend of Forrest or him in a different account. We definitely like Forrest though. This is more voices is not a.
We would love to have all the voice actors, especially like Elsbeth, Jacob, and Forrest, come in and do more voices for us. I think we wanted to do more international voices, just so that so that it has like immediate gameplay benefits. But aside from like Japanese voice actors, we're just having trouble finding other voice actors. I mean, some of you guys have submitted voice clips and stuff like that, but we kind of just either got sidetracked or haven't really found the voice that we're looking for. So we're gonna keep plugging away.
Then we had a question about. Oh my god, I've lost it. I'm sorry. People just hopping around on this chat. Will we stick with the artistic style that was used in the trailer?
No. I mean, the artistic style is really designed to do two things. Aside from like being, being like aesthetically, pleasing as we could possibly make it to be. It's really just trying to convey two things. One is sort of a feel from a narrator's perspective, right? This is really the story is told from the narrator's memory. So we decided to stylize. We decided to take this artistic approach. For that reason, and also we want to accentuate the different factions. Color palette and look and feel, and just the way they are. So I think by doing it this way, we feel like we can accentuate the different factions
Someone on Facebook made a very astute observation. If you go on our Facebook page and look at the announcement with the YouTube video, in the comments, someone posted a link to the Tale of Three Brothers YouTube clip, and something from Harry Potter, I believe, and that was one of our biggest references when the artists were putting the teaser together. So again, it's using a hyper stylized thing to exaggerate and accentuate a lot of the faction details and story and etc. So don't worry, we won't be departing from our in-game look.
All right, and how will clans and factions work together?
I'm working on that now. Clans will definitely be able to get involved with factions and progressing them in some way or another. Again, that stuff is TBD. Personally, I don't feel ready to share too many details about it, but yes, factions and clans will be very closely related in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and this week was actually spent working on clans itself, so there is a system for that coming up as well. So, just for in case anyone didn't know about that work,
Yep.
So it's not going to be just your clan tag anymore, and anyone can take it and change what's happening there. General question: will there be any carrier class blimp warships at any time? Since in the original trailer, biplanes were being used.
In co-op mode, you'll be able to fight airplanes. That's the main enemy type. Again, if you think of Left 4 Dead, like the basic zombies will be airplanes. The zombie bosses will be airships. Carrier types, probably not for player use, but perhaps it may come as a type of enemy, a type of boss.
All right. And of course, there's been a couple times, and I'm sorry for passing over this. Will the harpoon ever be useful?
It's on the list. I am hopefully. I mean, there are a bunch of things. Like one of our engineers is moving towards gameplay programming, and I believe the first thing that I want him to take a look at is adding some extra functionality to spawns, because spawns need it more than harpoons, but harpoons are pretty high up on that list too.
And where do airplanes come from, since the war is supposed to have destroyed them all?
No, they didn't destroy them all. I mean, a lot of it's just a resource problem. Has requires a lot of fuel, like crude oil fuel. Blimps are a little bit easier to, once they figure out how to use the airships, that conserve a lot of energy, so to speak, and just the range for airplanes. They're not good for ferrying cargo. I mean, this is a world that requires a lot more transportation of goods, so airships made a lot more sense. At least that's what we're running with right now.
Yep. So, Sammy, hopefully that'll answer your question. Why use blimps when you have planes? It's a cargo. It's an import-export issue.
Yeah. It's like, we still use big freighters, ships in the ocean to haul stuff around, because it's just more efficient that way.
Will co-op mode be 4 captains with AI crew, or 4 players for 1 human ship?
It will be, again, use matchmaking to get your crews together. It's minimum of 1 ship, so 4 players on 1 ship against the AI, up to 4 ships against AI. And depending on how you enter matchmaking or true form, or however you do it, you may end up with some AI or not. But 4 people minimum in a match.
And asked a couple times, kilts.
Kilts. Want kilts? I'll let Tim know.
What faction would they be anyway?
I don't know. Maybe Anglian. Maybe Fjord Baronies. I don't know.
You give kilts to the people who live in the coldest environment? Are you out of your mind?
Hey, the Scots, lived in pretty cold climate. They weren't bothered by it.
Not Arctic frozen wastes.
You want to join in?
Yeah. Are there questions? It sounds like.
Yeah.
Oh.
Tim is gonna
Okay,
join in now.
Awesome.
All right, this is Tim. He's the chief art design. Is this the
Kilts?
correct term?
Hey, sorry, I told him I'd jump on if you guys had any questions or anything. So
He's the chief.
I heard kilts.
Tim's the chief officer.
There's some debate over which faction would be receiving kilts as a fashion option.
Okay, well, I don't think any are going to be receiving kilts, but I think the style that would most fit like the kilt type of style is maybe like the baronies, where it's just you have like a longer coat that kind of like drapes down to like the knees. But I don't know about the kilts. I don't know about that. It's kind of cold up in the air, man.
And then someone saying, Tim, tell me, and this is all caps, but I will not yell it at you. Tell me you've been working on mouth slots for pipes and cigars.
Yeah, that's a good question. So for co-op, the stuff that we have that we're gonna like expand is gonna be like a lot of the personalization stuff for the main character, including the mouth slot, which I think we talked about earlier. We released the news of that, but you know we'll have like face shapes so you can customize your character a little bit better, and you know you'll have more options in the future going forward.
Yeah, I've been covering for Tim on this question for like 3 months, and now you can ask him directly.
Yeah, well, I think Howard is always coming to me in the past and like, oh, can we do this? Can we do this? And the answer is always like, yeah, well, of course we can do this. Why not? So, stay tuned.
Yep, and yeah, everyone's still asking a little bit of design questions. Remember, this is Tim. He's gonna run away from us pretty quickly, so all your art questions as quick as possible.
I'm halfway gone already.
Yeah, you can see him in the chair. He's leaned out. He's just like, oh, if there's nothing for me. Now we have questions on fedoras and fezzes.
Fedoras and fezzes. Some style of fez is definitely possible.
Fedora?
What about different types of males and female bodies?
That one's a little trickier.
Because you have to pretty much re-rig every single costume when you create a new frame, right?
Yes. Yeah, the joints get a little bit funny when they're bound to different meshes and the different types of combinations that we can do on that. We looked into that originally when we were releasing Guns. We looked into a system similar to how Eve does it, which is incredibly dynamic. But that takes a lot of joints, and it's really hard to do. That one, I can guarantee faces, but the body, that's a really tough thing to do.
All right. What is your what art reference do you use for sky whales?
That's a good question. We just look at whales, I guess. I mean, we've only produced like 2 works of sky whale reference art, so yeah, just regular whales.
Are you going to use any ancient Chinese, Japanese art styles for any of the factions?
Hell yeah, we are. The Yaetians are a little bit of Roman influence, but they're also hugely influenced by Asian culture, Southeast Asian culture. So you're going to see the 2 styles mixed together when you look at Yaetian stuff.
Chinese aesthetic and Roman policy?
Yeah, a little bit. Maybe a little bit of Roman architecture too. We're going to try to negotiate the 2 together.
Are we getting any new costumes, goggles, hats coming out soon?
Yes. Actually, the ones that, well, you're going to have just like a shit ton coming out in co-op, but the ones that you're going to see immediately for skirmish mode are going to be, you're going to see the female version of our most popular costume, the Kovansky. And you're going to get actually new AI. The AI is going to be decked out in their own special costumes, and we're working on those right now.
And for the Ashari, any Dune-inspired clothing options?
The Arashi, they're the Dune faction. The one that's going to take visual cues from them, they're going to be the Baronies. Actually, they're more closely related. But like, I mean, I assume that's you're referencing like the still suits and stuff, and the way to kind of dress for desert climates. And the Arashi they're inspired by modern day desert cultures like Bedouins, where you're going to use a lot of loose clothing to keep cool in those hot climates.
All right, different crew poses at victory screen.
Yes, that's another thing that is up. It's pretty easy to do actually, and that might be another store option where when you're picking your character voice or picking your costume, you can also pick like the type of action that you want to do at the end of the screen.
It's probably worth reminding that we only have 1 full-time animator, right?
Yeah, we stretched him so thin the last couple of months, but yeah, he's free now. I mean, like we just tortured him with this trailer, making him animate all this stuff.
Worth it. Worth it.
I think so. I think he did a great job, and we're gonna put him back to work on the game stuff, and that one's at the top of our list. We're gonna put him back to work.
All right, and should we? I don't know how much time we have left for you, so ship customization is something I have to fit in. People.
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm actually doing a little bit of a guide right now to show the artists that's going to be working on the assets exactly what we need. It's like our engineers are working on putting in the code base for it right now. It's happening. It's going on.
All right. So that's all the design questions we have right now. You are
I have
definitely.
a tiny design question if you have time for it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, shoot.
Which costume in the store right now most closely resembles the style of the Order of Caledon? And how is it properly pronounced? Is it Caledon?
I mean, like, that's up to you guys. We've always called it Chaladon, Caledon. We've heard both of those ones. The costume that's closest to Chaladon right now, that's a tough one. I would say the aspects that make Chaladon unique are they kind of look like Indian culture, Indian sari culture. They dress very brightly. We also take a lot of inspiration from like the Mongolian bride traditional costume in designing the stuff that we have planned for Chaladon. The one that fits that right now, I don't know. Chaladon might be the one that's underserved currently.
All right, so it's not just my imagination. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it'll be fun to get a couple of Chaladon costumes in there.
Are there any plans for any art assets for animals in this world?
We've been talking since the conception about pets and animals on your airship in some way. That we'll see about that in the future. It's on the wish list, we'll say, but we've always wanted it.
Yeah, if you want to get Tim to commit to all kinds of stuff, it's time to do it.
Yeah.
It's the time to do it right now.
Yeah, it's a little tough. I mean, we're just gated by like how expensive those things are and how much we can fit in, how many animations we can play at the same time, stuff like that. Maybe like a hawk on your shoulder or something, maybe like a cat that's sleeping on your ship somewhere. But we'll see.
Well,
Holding out for rats.
Yeah, you've gotten
That's a
you've
good
gotten
one.
parrots, the hawks, the cats. Someone talked about snakes. Oh, and a big pink unicorn sky whale. So, I think that's a narwhal, though.
And yeah, we could do a Norwell Skywell. That'd be pretty cool. Just fight back a little bit.
All right. And more questions on the hidden Easter eggs that the artists have put in. They want hints.
Wait. We dropped hints last time. Did you guys find them?
I think they always want more hints.
So basically, I think the question is, where are you, Tim Doolin, in the game?
Where am I in the game? There's not me. We have a.
There is.
There is? Oh yeah, no,
Yes,
there is. I forgot about that.
Tim's in the game.
Well, I mean, we actually have pictures of real life pictures of
Oh, sure.
developers that are posted in the game.
Well, I think only Brian, right?
Yeah, we have Ryan. I think I got plastered onto the side of one of the guns. Flak cannon, I think. I'm on the flak cannon.
Wearing a powdered wig, right?
That's right. That's my judge's wig. Looking spiffy.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's kind of an old one.
They said they found the poster in the Fjords map.
Yes. Yep.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. That's Brian.
And
But there's, we're designing new levels as I speak, so tons of Easter eggs coming up. Tons of Easter eggs.
someone asking, I don't have to pre-order co-op if I backed the Adventure Kickstarter. Correct. If you backed us on Kickstarter for Adventure Mode, you're also getting co-op because of how we split it up. So, as much as we want more money, don't worry. You're already good. You have everything. And then there was another question. Yeah, so the ship customization will not affect the performance of ships. It's all going to be cosmetics.
Purely cosmetic. Purely cosmetic. Like the type of stuff that you can expect from ship customization would be like you can put your own personal logo on the ship for other people to see. You can put a figurehead on the front of the ship for other people to see. You can change the color of your ship. You can decorate the deck with different themes. so you can decide how your ship looks when you're running around it, stuff like that.
Has there or will there be more lore posted online? So I guess from your side, will there be more concept art of the factions?
Oh yes, yeah. I mean, like we that was once we had the trailer done. Now like the floodgates are open and everybody's marching towards doing all of the work for co-op, making all the assets, designing all the costumes, all that stuff. So in the following weeks, you're kind of gonna see all the stuff start to trickle out as we make it.
And how long have you worked for Muse?
How long have I worked for Muse?
Yeah.
How long has it been, Howard? How long have I been here?
Since pretty much the beginning, I would say. Pretty close.
I remember I first came to Muse and I played the first Guns of Icarus. There was a party for the release of the first Guns of Icarus, and that's the first time I came to Muse. So
yeah, so basically, I would say maybe in the first 3 or 4 months of us being Muse.
yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Sounds good. This one's more of a game question. Since we didn't raise enough funds for player-driven biplanes in the Kickstarter, is there any chance they'll be introduced at a later date? And will they be flying along existing airships? And have we considered a free-to-play model where we get profits just from in-game purchases, such as the costumes we buy now?
Okay, let me answer the first one. I think the first question is, I mean, have we considered it? Is it going to be happening at a later date? I can only say maybe. I mean, we definitely considered it. But I mean, to get it to work will take, especially given, how to balance it, how to, make it work in conjunction with everything else. It's going to be a pretty big challenge. So, I think maybe eventually, it's definitely a cool idea. Eventually, maybe we can try to make it happen, but it's not in our immediate plans. And second question is, have we considered free to play? Yeah, consider free to play. But just because free to play is all the rage and everything. But I think there are some things that we hold pretty dear, which is not to have the game be in any way pay to win, right? And to essentially to have the game be as at least the payment thing to be as straightforward as possible. So it's not like, oh, we'll try to gauge progress and try to get you to buy all kinds of different items, constantly advertise them. Because I mean, we're not really into it, nor do we have the expertise in designing that kind of stuff. Try to extract as much money as possible from people. I think another thing is also that we are small, and a lot of times for free to play stuff, it takes it takes a pretty big effort to get players to come into the game. So call it player acquisition, if you will. People either spend a lot of money or they have a lot of ways to get a bunch of players in, and we're small, so that's actually pretty hard for us. So I think doing free to play is actually not easier for us either.
All right, and how long will the art internship opportunity be available, and how many applicants are we accepting?
It's available. We want to, fill the position in the next couple of months because people can plan out their summer trip, their summer schedule. So we're going to be advertising that, I think, through the end of March, I think, and then that'll be for the 3 months of the summer, June, July, August.
All right. And are we prepared for the...
Let me interrupt. Let me interject for a second. So New Agent Wolf said that his question got passed by so many times that he just had to get it out. So he said, would there be a co-op beta to help with the wait? Yeah, there'll definitely be a co-op beta. In fact, we want to start, to get people in as early as I'll just call it late prototype. And we definitely want to showcase it during PAX. So either during PAX or a little bit before that, we'll start getting players in.
And are we prepared for the mass of merry men showing up at PAX? We're excited about it.
Yeah. I mean, are they prepared to stand at our booth?
Are you prepared to work for free, merry men? And more Scorpion. Yes, if you pre-order the $55 pack on the Guns of Icarus store, you will get both co-op and adventure mode. And all the extra goodies for doing the collector's edition for both.
Oh, and
Yeah,
yeah, so by the way,
I think.
Sure.
Okay.
yeah. So and by the way, if you pre-order the $50 one, the documentary is ready, and we wanted to wait for the trailer to drop because some of the documentary parts contain, different aspects of the trailer or how we made the trailer. So we actually wanted to hold off, but now that the trailer's out, we'll be sending out, we'll be distributing the documentary as well.
All right. And what are we going to be seeing of the faction towns? So art-wise.
Faction towns are not going to be developed really until adventure mode. You're not going to be able to, fully explore the world. That specifically, but that's something for adventure mode.
All right. And what are you looking for in an art internship application?
I will direct you to our website under jobs, I believe, or you can see the job posting. But basically, if you're interested, you can just hit us up with an email and attach your reel, and we'll check it out.
And then, are there any new ships or war blimps in the work, even in the very early design stages?
Yes, yeah. This is a good transition back to Eric, who can kind of explain how you're going to be able to get those things. But yeah, they are in the works. So anyway, but great being here, guys. Hope you enjoyed the trailer. I'm gonna sneak off now.
All right.
Thank you for joining us.
It's been a pleasure. So now we're going to get Eric back. Yeah, he's hopping on right
Party
now.
over.
Alright, everyone, stop having fun.
Nerf all the things.
No!
Alright, so the question was that we transferred over to you is new ships and war blimps. Oh, and he took off his. Oh no, you're back in the headset. I'm looking at something else. The other one that's a couple seconds back. The new ships, even in the early design stages. Is there anything that you can talk about them?
There's really not that much to talk about. I mean, I just have an idea of the play styles of each faction and how that might influence the design of their various items that you'll be able to unlock by supporting these factions. So other than that, I mean, you can judge by the trailer and try to guess what what kind of play styles each faction has. Some are more obvious than others, of course.
And considering the difficulty in destroying ships that are moderately fast, how will that translate to co-op biplanes coming at you? In other words, how will you be able to kill them fast enough given the current weapons?
Yeah, we'll make sure that biplanes are definitely, or aeroplanes are officially called now. Aeroplanes will be squishy. You'll be able to just destroy them relatively easy. As far as aiming goes, we also have contingencies for that. I mean, hey, Guns of Icarus Classic, the original Guns was all about shooting down airplanes as well, and that worked. So we know how to do it. So it's just transitioning those specific pieces of technology into co-op mode.
And how will matchmaking rank affect rank our skill level? How will this affect who are allowed to play with and against?
Okay, so I'll answer this in reference to skirmish mode. It's just we're using Glico Elo. It's by historical performance. So if you win, you lose. Who do you win against? Who do you lose against? Will determine how many points you take away or how many points you lose to your opponent. These ratings will never be exposed to the players themselves. So it's just like the system will use the ratings, and you will be matched with someone that we think is your appropriate skill level, and hopefully everyone can have fun and won't get stomped. That's the main thing.
Yep, and if for playing with, if you're let's say the highest ranked person in the game, you can still play with the lowest person in the game if they're your friend. You just won't be auto match made against with each other. You'll have to form your crew.
Yeah.
How will?
By the way, if you guys want to test matchmaking, we still have some keys to give away. So I guess Matt can
grab the link right here. Yep, putting it in chat. This is if you want to be a part of the matchmaking testing, which should be going up, I want to say early next week is when it'll be ready to be tested.
Yeah,
We did the final internal stuff this week.
Yeah, it's delayed by, I'll say, a few days because Jay wanted to do some load testing, and we kind of wanted to run through just the UI and everything to make sure that nothing major is broken. But they are ready to be tested. We'll try to get people in starting next week. So if you want to check out matchmaking,
Yep.
yeah, I mean, Matt will be coordinating, more scheduled test sessions. So we can get a bunch of people in at once.
Yep. So when you go to that link, it'll also it's going to ask for your email, and that's so I can send you the key and give you the times, and it's also going to ask what times work for you. And it's not required that you put in what times work for you, but if you put in the times that work for you, there's a much better chance that I'll give you the times that work for you. So. Definitely, when you sign in, include that information for me. There's a question on factions. When you join a faction, will you be stuck that faction forever, sort of like joining a faction in World of Warcraft, or will it be more flexible?
No, we're gonna definitely give you a degree of flexibility. But the kinds of things that we want for the player when they're able to join factions is that one, there's already starting to when you first are able to join a faction. And you choose which one to support, that there will be some already inertia developing, so you stick with that faction. However, if you do it quick enough, you'll be able to jump factions relatively painlessly. We're also thinking about, as you pledge your support even further and further, get deeper into a faction, that there will always be ways for you to leave. But as you get further in with the faction, you'll get cooler stuff, so that these are the questions that you'll have to ask yourself, and we're thinking about all the different contingencies and use cases there to make sure that people have a good time and just don't feel stuck. In fact, at the end, we do want to encourage going to other factions in other ways for a variety of reasons. It's politics always change, so people's opinions always change, so we want to keep that in mind as well.
And will matchmaking be done in the dev app we already have? Yes. So when it gets put in there will be an announcement. It's going to go, if you signed up through email, you're going to get an email saying, it's in now, and here's your key. If you signed up through the experimental crew, so you've already had dev app access before, there will be an announcement that goes out through the Steam group that says, matchmaking's here, here's when we're testing, help us out, oh, and here's where you leave feedback, so we can fix it if we broke anything. Will there be boarding or exchanging crews between player ships in adventure mode? I think we can safely say no.
Every time.
Every time.
Make those bingo sheets again.
You need to make the bingo sheets. It is a common question. It's actually in our FAQ on our website of why we're not going to be doing boarding. There's a lot of reasons. The quick one is you'd have to build almost an entirely new game on top of our game to do player versus player combat directly and not ship versus ship. Also, the ships are moving 100 miles an hour, so linking them up would also require a completely different game change.
You would go splat against the ship if you tried to board at that speed.
You would not have shins anymore if you were able to land on your feet.
Yeah. The reason why it worked for pirates is because the two ships are in the water relatively still, and they just throw a plank over, and you can walk over the plank, but walk over that plank at 100 miles per hour. Think about that.
Yeah, for one of the blimps dips slightly, and the plank goes all the way to the ground.
Yeah, I mean, I think for a 4-player ship, it's really a little bit more. It's not that realistic, right? Let's say we move the ship, we slow down the ship to a crawl, so we put a plank out so you can board, right? As the 4 of you are boarding, I take my Gatling gun on the side, just start swiping at you. It's okay. I don't know.
All right, and so dynamic weather systems and maps. So slight drizzle, downpour, sunny day, cloudy, hurricanes.
Sorry, I was just looking at a comment. Norwegian Wolf wants to test co-op ASAP before he heads off to the military. So, yeah.
Well, what's our deadline on that? Like, when's he heading off to the military?
Yeah, let me see.
Because that's really important. Because if he's like, "Oh, I'm heading off next week," I don't think that's going to be possible. But
Yeah. You can fly boxes around.
We're gonna try to get Norwegian Wolf in before military. That's the goal. Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry for the interruption. What was the question?
About weather.
Yeah, dynamic weather. Is it happening?
Yeah, I mean, didn't Alex send out a weekly update about that just last night about this?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, well, the weekly update didn't go up. The progress report hasn't gone up yet because we had all the exciting trailer stuff. So.
Yeah, well, it's currently being worked on. More cool weather. Like already, we have like a new pipeline for maps, which is all kinds of like insanity. So the game is going to look a lot better as far as the maps go.
Oh man! So Wolf goes to the military on March 16th. That's pretty soon. Yeah. We'll see. We'll try. It may be really rough, but.
Boxes.
There's someone reporting a lot of lag for when there's a lot of particles such as dust storms and clouds, and he's asking when it's going to be fixed. The biggest thing right now is lowering your settings and turning off background programs because it can really slow down your machine. Play in full screen, play at lowest resolution. Because we aren't seeing a lot of graphical lag on most machines, but if you, after going through all that, you're still seeing the issues, shoot us an email and we'll figure out like if there's something happening on our end or if there's a way that we can help you on your end. Because lag's not fun.
Yeah.
No bueno.
So will there ever be any chance for weapons not based off of like hard points, so like dropping grenades or shooting rifles?
Wait, what do you say that again?
Will there be weapons not based off like a ship's hard point, so like a gun or item of a gun or?
No, I don't believe so. It will always be on your ship. This is a ship-to-ship combat game.
And how does ELO rating relevant to individuals in a team game where the teams are not consistent?
Well, we have to develop the ratings. Again, the most important thing is the rating for your ship, the rating for your team, the average. So how do we get those averages? Well, we have to evaluate how many wins a player has, each individual player. So those will go into consideration, of course. Yes, it's based on teamwork. Yes, it's not the most accurate system, but it's probably the best thing that we can go for right now. Of course, like, if your team wins, the points will be evenly distributed across the players on that team based on their personal rating. So the lower player will get a little bit more than the higher level player, for example.
And before I start taking the next question, we are actually past an hour already, so if you want to start getting your casual questions out there for us to choose our final casual question of the day, that'll be great. But I'll still be taking a few more technical questions before then.
That's fine, yeah. We can hang around for a little bit longer, too.
Yeah, no, I just want to make sure people are thinking about the casual questions as well. Will there be more tools available to us in co-op mode for more variety outside the current builds we already have for like repair and buff?
Yes. I mean, well, okay, hold on. I'm planning for more tools. When they're going to come, I don't know, for skirmish mode. So these will, of course, make it into as vanilla skills and co-op mode, but co-op mode will also have available new ships, new guns, new skills. At least that's the plan, per faction.
All right. Let's see. Would it be possible to add a time-limited deathmatch mode, so whoever gets the most kills in 10 minutes?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. We'll take a look at it.
Yeah, and I think this
idea.
is something that has been brought up in competitive play before, and yeah, I mean, I definitely know that people have concerns about time and stuff like that. So yeah, something we can check it out. What Eric can check it out. Sorry.
Has a fourth class ever been considered?
Yes, absolutely.
Who's the captain, by the way?
I have considered, another class but I think Eric will
Oh, I know the
vehemently,
vehemently.
vehemently.
Yeah,
You'll have to
won't
tell me
talk
after this then.
Yeah, we won't talk about that one on air.
That is a branding problem. The idea
Yeah,
could have been.
yeah.
We ran into branding problem.
Oh wow, that's just teasing everyone in the chat right there. Will the gunner class be fleshed out a little bit more? They're oftentimes still not as useful as another engineer.
Yeah, there are more gunner skills. I mean, people who have been a part of DevApp will know the kinds of crazy experiments that I'm conducting. They'll be back sooner or later, but hopefully some new ammo types will make gunners, those 3 slots, more valuable. That's a key part here. Is I want to have those 3 ammo slots there. I want to use all those ammos. So that's also the part of the balance that I'm striving towards right now, making sure every weapon is viable in any given play style, so people just don't forget that a gun is there, and also every gun has multiple ammunition types that are viable for it as well.
And is ELO ranking derived from the same algorithm as the performance grade at the end of each match?
Can you repeat the question?
So like the performance grade at the end of each match. So if you're a gunner,
No.
Okay.
That'll be different. I don't even know how performance grade is calculated. I don't ask me. It's a cool number that's fun to look at. That's my opinion about it. But we won't be using ELO. We will be using something very similar called Glicko, Glicko. If you Google just Glicko, Glicko, I believe, is more like a more open source version of ELO. You can actually find a formula and read up about how all this works. And there are a lot of examples out there. So we'll be using that, but we'll be taking averages to team versus team ratings, and making sure that those are as balanced and fair as possible.
will there be other aircrafts than the ships? This question was asked a couple times, so I think you missed the answer. So yes, there will be airplanes, but they're going to be AI controlled. They're basically going to be your general enemy for co-op mode. So you can blow a bunch of them out of the sky.
Yep.
Any possibilities for custom maps or missions in for co-op mode?
Custom maps, you got to be a little bit more specific than that. Like, what kinds of features are you looking for?
So I think map, like they can make their own maps, kind of thing.
Oh, make their own map, like
Yeah.
I made my own Team Fortress map type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's tough. At this point, we don't have the infrastructure or pipeline to accommodate outside sourcing for that, because our whole server architecture. I mean, it is based in the server architecture, how all that stuff works. So it'll be very difficult to create your own map without the server.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be a thing that we look at if we ever get player hosted server, but that's totally like TBD, off in the future type of thing.
And Navi, so we're probably not going to have other people boarding ships, even without like boarding combat, just for aesthetics' sake, because it is still a lot of work, and the current design doesn't match for it. You've asked it a couple times. I want to make sure that you got an answer from us. There is another question. What's after level 15?
What's after level 15?
So
level 16? Oh, this is skirmish progression?
I guess, yeah. So I guess he was asking, like, what's the game plan for it?
After level 15, you get co-op mode, and you play co-op mode, I guess.
All right, so yeah, so currently there's no plans for anything after 15.
No. I mean, the progression in skirmish is just unlocking achievements. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I think
looking at progression in other modes and other forms and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, I think we probably would stay at 15 and not just keep expanding the levels. But we'll try to look for different ways to reward people for playing, and maybe other forms of progression other than just level 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So
We've got ideas brewing around, but how many level 15s are there? Not that many.
Any chance we'll see ships, so the ship models, break down more when we shoot at them? So more clearly destroyed balloons, hulls, guns, engines, instead of the black smoke we have now for most components?
That's a good question. I think, well, all right, for co-op, but, like I guess the artist's goal will be trying to make, explosions as spectacular but also performant as possible, right? But just on skirmish itself, yeah, there are actually a few things that we're doing to make things a little bit clearer. One is to look at, what happens when you shoot, say, a gun with one type of property against, different components. What happens? How do we highlight them better? How do we make that whole process more noticeable and easier understood? So we'll be doing a few things, playing with some, I just call it weak point highlight. Some it's a system that we had during prototype for co-op, but we never really implemented in skirmish. That will bring something online along that direction, and also looking at sound effects and potentially more particle effects. But we'll be doing more to make that whole process clear.
Mm-hmm. One player asked about there's an issue. There has been a reported issue for some players between Steam achievements not unlocking when you've unlocked them in the game. If you're having that issue, we can fix it on a per account basis at the moment. If you just send us an email, we basically reset the flag in the account, so the next time you sign in, Steam goes, oh, you actually have all these achievements. So if you have run into that issue, send an email, feedback@musegames.com, we'll get you taken care of. And then Howard, this is from Kyle's effort. Do you still need a stats guy?
I do, yes. I think Thomas volunteered, but sure. Yeah. I probably won't be able to do... Well, we can. There's some things that we can already do, but basically right now, Jared and I are working on getting more hooks in for more data tracking, especially to track how different things correlate. So once that's built, then we can do even more sophisticated data tracking or analysis. But yes, in short, I do.
And so we've already gotten a couple casual questions reported, though they're what is the hint on the 4th player class, which we're not going to talk about, unfortunately. We're just going to keep that as a tease. But if you have any more casual questions, feel free to ask them. The current winner so far is how many hearts have you broken? Because I'm sure that is going to be dark and deep enough for us to talk about for a little bit. I'm still going to take a few more questions about game stuff, though, as well. But keep the casual ones coming. I'm still keeping track of them. And Navi on... so yeah, but there still won't be any... players on other players' ships. It's really... There's just no place for it. Even outside of gameplay, it's a lot of work. Have we thought about expanding costume slots to pants, boots, and gloves instead of just the full costume?
Well, I mean, we've thought about it. Actually, we thought about it and decided against doing that because we felt like doing a whole costume, we have way more control over that aesthetically. So we can make sure that we design something that we think is cool.
And you make sure that all the components work together well enough, too.
Yeah, basically.
Someone's saying the Glico system's not good. Need confirmation on if you are really going to have it or not.
Yes, we are using the Glico system. What is bad about it?
All right. Have you ever considered, and as they're answering, have you ever considered making the spectator a bird or some type of flying object?
Oh, it's kind of fun, actually.
That's cool.
True, having a bird, though you would have, I'm sure, some spectator just go in front of the pilot. It would be pretty hilarious. Hey, hey, hey.
It's like Navi.
So, any plans for different balloon health for different ships, so some benefit from hydrogen more than others?
Oh, for skirmish mode, no. I need to keep that stuff balanced. Probably will be the same for co-op mode. All the ships will have the same balloon HP. Yeah, it's tough. It is tough.
All right, and this has been the casual question asked 8 times. And I think it's just because all the merry men are here asking it. What do we blame Shinkarex for? Which is basically a Guns of Icarus meme of blame Shink whenever something goes wrong. Our blame train works differently. It's it's normally random name here, blame.
No, there's a for Muse because we're so experienced at this. We're so experienced at this thing. There's usually a blame chain of command. I just make sure that I'm not the end at the end.
You see, I was gonna say you say there's a chain of command, but really it's random person. Hope you're not the last person on the list, or I guess
Yeah.
circle of blame. Because
It's a blaming pyramid scheme.
Yeah, I usually make sure that I'm the one starting the blame, so I don't.
That's one strategy, yeah.
In hope that I don't end up with the guy being blamed, even though meta usually. Whenever meta's on my ship, he usually get the blame game going really early.
I confirm or deny nothing.
Who's the boss? Is the question.
For real?
Yeah.
Didn't she lead the Cobra unit?
Yeah. Like not the boss of the blame game, right?
No. The boss
Yeah.
of Muse.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think we were pretty. I would say we're pretty. We work well as a team.
That is true. We do.
And with that answer, the question just came up: who's the big boss?
David Hayter. Come on, man.
Yeah, big. That's a
Sneku!
That's a Medicare specific question. Medicare specific question.
Will there be player housing or faction cities?
Player housing, faction cities. That's adventure mode stuff. Maybe, I don't know. We'll definitely want to work towards at least capitals being walkable in some capacity. I mean, we haven't even started working at adventure mode, so it's hard to say.
Yeah, I mean, player managed stuff is to that extent, it's even more down the line.
Yeah.
Also, they're saying the big boss is Howard's wife. Your wife got dragged into this somehow. I'm just letting you know what's happening. I'm keeping you up to date.
The big boss is Kevice's wife. I don't know.
I guess on that, we should probably move into the more casual side. So we can either do how many hearts have you broken if you've got a good story for that, or current Valentine's Day plans.
I can tell you. I can tell you the latter for me if you want to hear.
I mean, how many hearts have I broken? Obviously, none. Valentine's plan? Yeah, that's a good question. Shelly actually, Shelly's I don't know if she's a romantic or what. She distributed. I just ate one, by the way. I mean, I didn't want to act like I'm eating, so I actually ate one off camera. But she brought these. It's Lindt chocolate in for everybody. So yeah, I mean,
trying to make us fat.
Since right. But since
I just ate 2 on camera.
No, I just ate one. I only ate one. But I mean, since I opened this already and I ate one, I can't just seal it up and re-gift it. So I probably had to buy something new.
That was Howard's plan. He was going to give it to Big Boss. Re-gifted Valentine's.
Re-gifting. That's what you do. That's what you do when you get married. You take.
Pretty tasty.
You get all these you get 3 of the same Voss. Some people decide to randomly get you, and you just when someone else gets married, you just kind of package it up and you get.
This is keen advice for the youngsters out there.
That's right.
Better be taking notes.
That's what Will Ferrell does. You should take heed. It's absolutely the way to go.
All right, so Eric, broken hearts or current Valentine's Day plans?
I don't break hearts. I freeze them. Plans. Plans. I don't have any plans today. Well, I'm going to be playing Titanfall. That's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to give a big bouquet of flowers to my Titan. Or the other way around. It doesn't really matter.
All right, Jesse. Broken hearts, Valentine's Days.
I haven't broken any hearts other than the 103 hearts in chat when I say that I'm actually dating and living with a girl who we've known since we were both 13 years old. So, over half our
ain't
lives,
that
you know?
something? Since 13, wow.
Yeah. And as for Valentine's Day plans, well, she got me chocolate and flowers, and she's very German, so of course I'm making her, in exchange, a steak and potato dinner tonight.
Nice.
Yeah, we get for me. I don't know. I would say no more than the average number of broken hearts.
Very, very political there. Very.
Well, I mean, we've all been through high school and had those situations. For today's plans, though, we picked up some crab that we're going to cook. We got some chocolate and some bubble bath. So that's my married life right there.
Whoa. Whoa.
I don't think bubble bath is the sauciest thing we've said, so I'm not too worried.
Yeah, we make games, man. The romantic stuff's really not for us.
Hey, I'm a bit of a romantic. Valentine's Day isn't our romance day though, so.
Our next game is going to be a dating sim.
Shit.
For show.
God, QWERTY isn't here right now.
No, I mean, dude, if that's the case, we probably need to bring Connor back.
Yeah, we probably do.
Okay, I really don't know where this is coming from. So it's been mentioned a couple times. Apparently you and me are dating, Howard.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not ashamed to admit it. What's the big deal?
Yeah, so me and Howard don't have any romantic plans with each other for today.
Yeah, long distance is hard, yo.
Long distance is really hard, okay? I've been through long distance.
Yeah.
USA to China, I win. 14-hour time difference.
Holy shit.
Yep. But I married the girl, so it can work out, so take that.
Oh wow.
I'm in a
Alright,
similar
hold
boat.
on.
I mean, but before we started living together, said girlfriend of 14 years lived in Washington State. I live in Massachusetts, so it was long distance for a while.
Yep. But so that's pretty much it for the week for us. Thank you for joining us for Valentine's Day.
Oh, wait, hold on. The guy who's complaining about Glico, tell him to email us at feedback@musegames.com. I don't know if we got a response from you. So make sure you let us know your complaints about Glico, and we'll see what we can do.
Yep, actually, Alex was in the chat talking about Glico 2 and how we're not using the original Glico.
Yeah, we're not using the original one. Yeah. Number 2.
Yeah, Alex lurks in the chat,
All right, good.
monitoring like what we say.
Making sure we don't promise, oh, and Alex is working on this huge thing.
Yeah, making sure that I don't say something
Working on a dating sim.
Don't say something foolish.
I thought that was Conrad.
Yeah, Conrad's always working on a dating sim, but he's not with us anymore.
I know.
Yes.
Bye.
Alex is watching. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I was just laughing because Alex said, "I'm watching you, Bubbles." So yeah, you're never safe, Howard. All right. Yeah, but thank you for joining us. It's been a great Valentine's Day. I'm glad everyone loved the trailer. If you haven't seen the trailer yet, you came in later and wanted to figure out what the party was about. It's at gunsoficarus.com. It's the first post right there. It's what's been worked on for a while, and we're really excited to share it with everybody. But we will see each other next week, normal time, 2 p.m. EST, on Fridays. Every Friday we're going to do it. So we will see you next week. Bye, everyone.